sending 2 people to the hospital, and it lands a rapper in jail. 7 Sheldon Fox with the exclusive.
Police and prosecutors.
As new proof came to light, the entire case took a turn that no one saw coming. What seemed like a straightforward legal battle quickly became something much more shocking. The lawyers stepped forward and officially announced Pooh's updated release date, a moment that had been highly anticipated by both his supporters and critics. Many thought this would be the biggest news of the day, but what happened next left everyone stunned. Just as people were processing the announcement, Pooh made a move that no one expected. He stood up in the courtroom, his expression serious, and without hesitation, he confessed. He admitted to being guilty of armed robbery, sending a wave of shock through everyone present. Gasps filled the room as even his own legal team seemed caught off guard. For weeks, speculation had surrounded his case. Some believed he would maintain his innocence until the very end, while others thought there might be hidden details yet to be revealed. But instead of fighting the charges, Pooh chose to come forward and own up to his actions. This unexpected confession raised even more questions. Was this part of a bigger strategy, or was there something deeper behind his decision? And that was not the end of it. The situation took an even wilder turn when people discovered that he had been driving a green McLaren during the crime. Surveillance cameras caught him behind the wheel, making it impossible to deny his involvement. But what truly left everyone speechless was what he did just 2 hours later. Instead of laying low, he boldly posted pictures of the same McLaren on Instagram, flaunting it as if nothing had happened. This reckless move made investigators' jobs much easier, adding more fuel to an already intense case. However, the biggest shock came when he stepped into the courtroom. As the case unfolded, he was forced to sign a federal contract, a move that instantly changed how people viewed him. This decision sent shockwaves through the hip-hop industry, where loyalty is everything. Rappers and fans alike were furious, quickly labeling him a snitch. His reputation, once built on street credibility, started to crumble. Just when it seemed like things could not get any worse, something unexpected happened. His best friend, now 30 years old, came forward to defend him. This only made the controversy grow. Was this a true act of loyalty, or was there something more behind it? The debate exploded, and the hip-hop community became divided. Now, the biggest question remains, what is the real truth? And how far will this loyalty test go before the final answer is revealed?
Paperwork, when you see the paperwork, my I do whatever y'all tell me to do, because my eyebrows mustache.
DJ Academic stated that Pooh Shiesty being in jail did not surprise anyone. Given his criminal history, many believed this outcome was inevitable. People saw it as just another rapper getting caught up in the streets, paying the price for his actions. Some in the hip-hop world even mocked him, calling him a snitch and questioning his loyalty. They assumed he had made a deal to save himself, turning on others to get a lighter sentence. But what they did not realize was that the truth was far more complex than it seemed. There was more to the story than what the headlines suggested. Behind closed doors, things were unfolding in ways no one had expected. The reality of his situation was much deeper than just snitching or not snitching. There were details hidden from the public, pieces of the puzzle that had not yet been revealed.
Who looked like he's absolutely chilling in jail. My boy got a little Richard Millie, you know what I mean? Got the haircut all right.
To find out the real truth about Pooh Shiesty's legal trouble, it is important to look at the latest court updates. Reports say he and his associate planned a meeting for a very expensive sneaker deal, but there was much more to the story than people thought. They were not just looking for sneakers. They were after drugs too. But from the start, they had no plans to pay. The whole thing was a setup. They had already decided they would take everything by force. That night, in a dimly lit parking lot, Pooh Shiesty arrived in a flashy, bright green McLaren. The expensive car stood out, but he did not seem to care. He was ready for what was about to happen. Moments later, the seller showed up, unaware that he was walking straight into a trap. Without any suspicion, he handed Pooh Shiesty the sneakers so he could check them. The deal seemed normal, just another business transaction. As they spoke about the price, Pooh Shiesty's partner slowly moved into position. He was waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Every second that passed made the air feel heavier. The seller was starting to sense that something was not right. Then, his eyes locked onto Pooh hands. That was when he saw it. Pooh was reaching for a gun hidden in his waistband. Everything changed in an instant. The tension that had been building exploded. The seller knew he was in danger, but by the time he realized what was happening, it was already too late. The situation quickly turned dangerous. The two men panicked and tried to run, jumping over the hood of their car, but they were not fast enough. Pooh moved around their vehicle with a gun in his hand and fired, hitting one man in the hip and the other in the lower back. At the same time, his partner grabbed the sneakers and drugs, quickly throwing them into the McLaren before jumping in to escape. In the rush to get away, Pooh did not realize he had dropped something important. A Louis Vuitton bag worth $4,910 dropped onto the pavement. The McLaren's butterfly doors, which lifted upward, had. The bag slipped out and was left behind, becoming important evidence, but more on that later. After speeding out of the parking lot, Pooh booked a private jet and left Miami, Florida. But his next move was his biggest mistake. While still in the air, he posted pictures of himself with the green McLaren on Instagram, a careless decision that would soon lead to his arrest. Officials in Bay Harbor Islands said he was wanted and charged him with armed robbery and battery. Their report said he and his partner left the state in a hurry. Shuri was sent to jail at first, but managed to get out by paying a $30,000 bond, giving him a short taste of freedom. But it did not last long. For the next 2 months, he stayed out on bond under strict legal watch. In the end, he was arrested again and officially sentenced for his crimes.
Bay Harbor Island says you're wanted with a
He's also charged with armed robbery, battery in their app.
On April 20th, DJ Academics tweeted that the Memphis rapper was first facing an 8-year sentence. But later, it was confirmed that he would serve 63 months in prison for firearm charges. Crimes like this do not happen often, so when DJ Academics said on a live stream that Pooh Shiesty was almost free, nobody believed him. Instead, it made people even more curious, and they started looking deeper to find out what was really going on. It began to seem like he was making some kind of deal. He is taking responsibility for what happened and serving his time without complaining, showing everyone that he is staying strong. Many believe that as long as he does not stay in prison for too long, he will be fine when he gets out. If he comes back in a year, his career will still be strong. Pooh has been making money like this since he was a kid, and now he is one of the richest rappers in the industry. Since this lifestyle was nothing new to him, some people think he committed this high-stakes crime just to bring more attention to his rap career. Pooh was one of the biggest artists signed in recent years, but he had a history of crime long before he joined Gucci's label. It is not like he was just a regular kid and Gucci led him down the wrong path. He was already living that life before signing. Gucci had nothing to do with the crimes that put him in prison. The truth is, Pooh is locked up now, and that is just how things turned out. For someone to commit a crime while sitting in a McLaren, it sounds like something out of a video game. But that was the life he was already living before all of this. It was nothing new for him. It is not a surprise, and Gucci cannot change who someone is as a person. But the real reason behind Pooh Shiesty's early release would soon be revealed. He unwillingly set off one of the most unexpected twists in his story, a proffer deal with the feds. A proffer deal is when a criminal gives detailed information about a crime in exchange for immunity. At first, Pooh Shiesty was facing a life sentence, but he managed to lower it to just 63 months, a much shorter sentence. However, to make the trial process smooth, he had to admit to his own crimes, giving key details to the judge and prosecutor. Now, other rappers are calling him out, saying he worked with the feds and gave up information on others involved. What makes this even more shocking is that Shiesty himself admitted to his biggest mistakes while committing the crime. He revealed that his first big mistake was pulling. Shuri's first big mistake was committing an armed robbery right near a police station. As soon as the gunshots went off, security cameras caught everything, and within seconds, squad cars rushed in from just across the street. From that moment, it was over. Law enforcement did not even have to do much investigating. They simply pulled the footage from nearby surveillance cameras. To make things even worse, Shuri left behind his Louis Vuitton bag, which had exactly $4,991 in cash. That one careless mistake gave the feds all the evidence they needed on a silver platter. Investigators took things even further. They checked Pooh's Instagram posts and found pictures of him holding stacks of $100 bills across his chest. But here is where it gets unbelievable. When they zoomed in on the images, they could actually see the serial numbers on the bills. In a twist straight out of a crime thriller, they realized those serial numbers matched the cash found inside the Louis Vuitton bag left at the crime scene. It almost seemed like a joke. Shuri pulled off an armed robbery just 2 hours after showing off the green McLaren on Instagram. And if that was not enough, Shuri took things even further after the crime. Instead of laying low, he made a bold move. He rented a private jet and quickly flew out of Miami, trying to put distance between himself and the scene. But even while escaping, he could not resist showing off. As the plane cruised through the sky, he stayed active online, posting pictures of the same bright green McLaren while connected to the plane's Wi-Fi. He did not seem worried at all. Then came another twist that shocked everyone. Shuri's team released the music video for Gone, and in it, he was once again flashing the same green McLaren. The timing was unbelievable. The video dropped right when his name was all over the news for the crime. It was almost as if he was bragging about it. That was when things took a turn in the hip-hop world. Rappers across the industry started speaking out, calling him a snitch. The accusations spread fast, and his reputation took a major hit. People who once respected him were now turning against him. But Shuri was not the type to stay quiet. Even from behind bars, he made sure his voice was heard. He fired back with a strong message on Telegram, making it clear that he was not backing down. He had something to say, and he was not afraid to let the world know his side of the story. Shuri did not stay silent while sitting behind bars. He made sure everyone heard him loud and clear. From deep inside the penitentiary, he sent out a strong message, calling out those who had disrespected him. He made it clear that being locked up did not change who he was. Shuri checking in from deep inside the penitentiary, also known as the bad place they said I could not survive. Locked up but never folded. I am still untouched, and my millions are still in double digits. Somebody tell Google to fix my net worth because we can check it right now. I was 21 years old with 8 figures. Jay-Z cannot even compare to my money. Stop playing with my name before I buy one of you. You all are not on my level. I represent my CG family every single day and twice on Sundays. I am not going anywhere. His words were filled with confidence and defiance. Even behind bars, he refused to be seen as weak. He wanted the world to know that he was still in control, still powerful, and still standing strong. Shuri made it clear that he was not afraid and had no plans to work with the feds. He said, I am not going to federal prison and I am not scared. Nobody has ever tested me before, not on the streets and not in jail. I am still the man of Memphis, still the king, no matter where I am. He wanted his enemies to know that in his eyes, he did not snitch, and there was no telling involved. But Shuri did not stop there. He also shared a clip from an old interview recorded before his arrest. This was important because it showed the kind of person he really was before everything happened, a look into his mindset that many people might not have noticed.